Oh, we started, by the way. There's Panthers in Philly.
So that would have been more accurate for the Texans video.
Yeah. Damn it. Only when I thought about it. Here we go. So Sunday Night Football. Uh, Still have undefeated Carolina. I don't know. I kind of have two things about Carolina that I kind of want to say is that I know Bengals had their bye week this week, and we've been talking about I think the past couple of weeks how Bengals are a very well-rounded team, which they are, and I'm not taking that away by any means. I feel
Right.
like in the NFC though that Carolina might be also a very well-rounded team for being undefeated. They're not spectacular in any. Well, I mean, they do have a spectacular defense, so that's definitely their
Yeah.
strongest point. But they're just good everywhere else. Like, I don't think they have like necessarily like a point where like, oh well, they're not so great at this and this. They're just good at everything, and that definitely is putting a point to why they're undefeated right now.
If Carolina had one of these elite running backs on their team, they would be a really scary team.
Oh, definitely. If they had
Uh,
whether Chris Ivory or I was gonna say Jamal Charles, but definitely not this year. And
oh yeah,
or even maybe even Adrian Peterson, uh, Beast Mode Marshawn Lynch, or just I agree. One of these huge running backs that they would be a very very scary team to go with, and
Jonathan Stewart. I mean, he had a pretty good game
he
for
did.
him. He got over 100 yards. I think 125 is what I got right here. So, which I mean, on 24 attempts, that's not that great, but it's not bad.
Well,
It's
it's better
it's a,
than
it's
most.
it's an improving thing, I
Yeah.
guess. Uh, and you mentioned Carolina being pretty good everywhere. I would agree. Um, they might be, they remind me of the Packers a lot, just in the fact that there's different styles of play, obviously, between
Mm-hmm.
quarterbacks and defenses and everything. But it's just in the fact that there's no glaring weakness on this team where you're just like, oh, this is what you need to do to beat this team.
Yeah.
There's not really any one spot where you can just be like, this is the weakness. This is where we strike. Uh, I think the big difference between Carolina and the Packers are, while Carolina does have a solid defense, one of the best defenses, uh, it's still not just flat out historic, like amazing. I don't, at least I don't think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And versus the Green Bay offense, which has Aaron Rodgers at the helm, which always one of the most potent offenses. So you've got like a really, that if you're splitting hairs here, that's the one. One team has Aaron Rodgers and one team doesn't. So
Yeah, I don't want to take too much away from Cam Newton because
no,
I
he's
this is
definitely
gonna
he's
be kind
having
of
his
a.
best season.
Oh, I 100%. I said that right when we were watching Sunday Night Football. I flat said this is probably Cam Newton's best season he's had so far, and I give that a lot of credit for Cam Newton because I'm gonna be completely honest. When Cam Newton came out his rookie and even his second year pro, I thought he was gonna be a flop. And like
Yeah,
this isn't gonna be the guy that people expect him to be. Yeah, he's a scrambling quarterback and he's good at that. But as like historically, look at how far scrambling quarterback. I mean, Michael Vick is probably the best that's ever come out, and even his career got shut down pretty fast. I mean, faster than what could have been expected if he was a pocket passer. Is what I meant to
well,
say.
some of that had to do with
Yeah, well, that's some of his personal life too. But I'm just saying, didn't want to deal with that. I just meant
but
NFL career wise and his playability. And I looked at Cam Newton and I thought this guy's gonna be a flop. He really is, and he completely turned around everything and surprised me. And every single year, he's gotten better and better and better, and to the point where you and I saw that he was a good quarterback. It's just that the Panthers weren't building a team around him, and now they are,
yeah,
and they definitely have.
they finally got something there.
Yeah,
You know,
and uh, I gave him a lot of credit. He's a good passer. He can run. He makes good. Well, I take that back a little bit. I was about to say he makes good decisions, but he did have 3 interceptions this game.
Right. That's probably his biggest flaw right now. Is he needs to work on his decision making,
Hmm.
especially like under pressure. But
And Philly's defense is pretty damn good. I think Philly's
yeah,
defense
they
is
are.
what's keeping them afloat right now, and it's kind of interesting because uh, I didn't think Sam Bradford had a very good game.
No, he
He
did.
threw some interceptions himself. DeMarco Murray, again, I don't know what the hell to think about DeMarco Murray. One week he's good, one week he's bad, one week he's this. Ryan Matthews had a huge run for a touchdown, and everyone is kind of talking up in arms like, well, he's just the backup. But he kind of showed that maybe he's better than just being a backup. And he's kind of lost in the mix between DeMarco Murray and, Darren Sproles in there.
At least up to this point, he seemed a little bit better suited to this offense than DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
I think Murray is. I think he's getting it a little bit more because he's had some better games and he's improving. Like we talked about it, and I said I thought he was overrated already. You know, uh, we've discussed that already.
Mm-hmm.
But I was surprised at how bad he was doing, and I think that what we saw in the last couple of games, or 3 games, and he had a more of a down game this week. But I think those better games, just probably start seeing more of them
Yeah.
as he gets
I
more
guess
used to this offense. They'll get him in the game more.
I guess like you could try to give him the benefit of the doubt because how many good running backs have done well against Carolina's defense so far this year. You can kind of give him
Yeah,
like that benefit of the doubt, but then at the same time you can kind of argue and say like, well, look what Ryan Matthews did against their defense, and was it just that one fluke play that just Carolina just wasn't ready for it and just he took off, or was it something else that, like you just said, that is Ryan Matthews just a better suit for this kind of offense? He's obviously been playing with the team for longer, so he kind of knows how the offense is already being established and like how it wants to be or how Chip Kelly wants it to be. And it's hard to say. It's very hard to say. There's really no clear cut answer. I mean, it's kind of like all speculation going on right now, and it's hard to figure it out because I think especially Philly fans want to sit here and be like, well, what is the answer?
um, yeah, they they're definitely having a disappointing season.
Yeah.
It's far from over, but they were expecting to be a contender, and they don't look like a contender right now at all.
No. It's all the Cowboys and Giants right now that's going for the. I mean,
Yeah,
they're gonna get wins. Philly's gonna get wins, but are you? Do you reasonably expect that they're gonna win the division? Probably not. Do you reasonably expect that they can get a wild card? Well, you got to beat either the Cowboys and Giants to even try to get there, and then once you even get there, you can have to fight between Atlanta and the Seahawks and the Vikings and whoever else that is just an overall better team. Like, and I just don't see it happening. I don't see them making the playoffs. I don't, and you know, if they try to build on something to do next year, maybe we'll see. I guess. I'm gonna make a bold statement. I'm not a believer in Chip Kelly. I just I'm not. I don't think he. I don't think he makes
I
so
don't
many
know, man. I'm on the
rash.
fence. I'm really on the fence about it.
You would think that with as many big names that you have, two things: as many big names that you had that you just decide to get rid of, as opposed to how many big names that you do currently have, and you're not doing well with it. I just don't believe that. I think if
Right.
another head coach came in there, he could take a team and be like, wow, look at how many great players we have. We should definitely do something about this. And I'm not seeing it. And I guess Philly did put up a fight against Carolina. They did, but mostly the defense. And uh, it was a battle of the defenses all around. Uh, I
Carolina, uh, they're impressive. I'll give them that much. They've
yeah,
had a pretty easy schedule, in my opinion. But
yeah.
and that's some of the reason they're still undefeated. But it's not going to get any easier, as the season goes. They you know they have Green Bay coming up, obviously, a couple weeks, and so that's going to be, to me, I've already mentioned Green Bay, and to me that's the real test because even if Green Bay isn't undefeated at that point, it's by far going to be the best team Carolina's met up to that point in the season.
I'm not sure if this is the
So
right episode to talk about this, but I did kind of want to say this a little bit. And I don't know about you, but when I was watching the Sunday night football game, there was nonstop commercials about the Packers and the Broncos next Sunday night. And they make it look like it's the most epic
uh,
game of the entire season so far. Yeah, like they really are promoting this game big time. And I'll say this:
it's the biggest game so far.
I think so. I think it's probably going to be one of the biggest games. I mean, no one really expected both teams to be undefeated, but now that they are and they're coming out, so it's almost perfect. Like it's just how it fit into the slot like this and everything. And I'm
Manning, Rodgers.
yeah, exactly. Two huge quarterbacks, going head to head. It's going to be big. I'm going to say this, and this is my honest opinion coming from a Green Bay fan. I'll hear, I'll hear up in the north, up out in Wisconsin, up here, gonna talk about how I love the Packers. Go on about that. Eat my cheese curds and drink my beer. I'm gonna be honest here. That I think the Packers have what it takes to beat the Broncos. I don't think the Packers have what it takes to beat Carolina.
Really?
Yeah, I'm being. If
You,
this
oh,
is why, if it was at Lambeau, the Packers would beat Carolina any day of the week. But the fact that it's an away game, I think the Packers are going to be beaten up. They're going to be tired against the Broncos, especially their defense. And I think they're going to be so worn out that Carolina's defense is going to take it over. That's just my prediction.
it's definitely a rough stretch. I'll say that much.
It's just my kind of my bold prediction. Now, if Cam Newton decides that he's going to throw 3 interceptions like he did against Philly, then the Packers will win. Because the difference is Packers will capitalize on those turnovers and make points. Philly did not. And I think that's what it if and you know what? Packers defense is good enough that they could get 3 interceptions against Cam Newton. So it is hard to
It could.
say.
It's
They,
gonna be a
they
good game.
it's gonna be
It's all.
It's gonna be
It's
a
on the
damn good
horizon.
game. But
Win the
I'm
Lambeau
making
again.
just a very because realistically, and we've talked about this numerous times before on the show, that realistically you can't expect your team is gonna go 16-0. You just can't expect that. It's only happened twice in the entire NFL. You're not gonna expect that it's gonna happen.
It's only happened once, really, because the Dolphins were in a 14 game season when they went undefeated. So
But they won the Super Bowl, and
right, okay,
Patriots did not. So I don't know
right.
how
So
you want to look at that.
it's actually never happened if you look at it from that way. There's never been a 16-0 team win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. And so it's never really happened up to our standards. If there is gonna be a game that the Packers will lose, I actually kind of want it to be Carolina. To be honest, I would rather have it be or the Broncos. If they lose
You
against the
know,
Broncos, I won't even be that upset. If they're gonna lose against
I think the
Carolina, I won't be mad.
Broncos would be the better game to lose for seeding purposes.
That's very true because you know what? Carolina is number one seed, and the other bold prediction I was gonna make is the NFC Championship game. It will be Packers and Carolina. And depending on how the seeding goes, it's if it's at Lambeau, you're gonna see the Packers go to the Super Bowl. I don't think Carolina will beat the Packers in Lambeau in January. There's no way. There's no way I could see it ever happening. I don't think the Panthers would beat the Packers at Lambeau in August, but I don't definitely not in January.
Well, when the Saints come back and win this bitch, we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, if I could have my ultimate NFC Championship game, it would be Saints and Packers. That would be the ultimate one that I could ever hope for. because it's like the best win-win situation. Even if the Saints went in, I'd be like, well, at least the Saints are in the Super Bowl.
It is sort of odd. Breeze and Rogers have never met in a high stakes game like that.
Yeah.
But I think this video needs to end.
Oh, we're definitely over. So hey,
Yeah.
quickly, Twitter, Facebook, in the description, leave a comment. If you like my bold predicaments, if you don't like my bold predicaments, let me know in the comments. All around, thumbs up.